Good morning. It is Sunday, and I feel like making a paint video. Let's talk about paint products. There are bespoke, actual hobby paints out there, which I'm a big fan of. And there's the the hardware store uh, rattle cans that you can also buy. And that's what we're going to be discussing in this video. In particular, we're going to be discussing Rustoleum. Yeah, I said it. So there is a temptation for those of us hobbyists that want to uh, buy the most amount of paint for the least amount of cost, and I do get it. For example, this is a typical Tamiya 10 milliliter bottle of paint. And the problem is there's really not actually 10 milliliters of paint in this bottle because they usually only fill it about uh, maybe half to three quarters of the way full. And that's $3 roughly. So that's fairly expensive. I don't actually buy these anymore. What I do is I buy this. This is the Tamiya TS range. This is semi-gloss black. And this has 100 milliliters, so it's got 10 times the amount of the small bottle. And this is about $7, give or take a little bit. It depends on who you buy it from. And then what I do is I decant it and stick it in either the little bottles, or what I usually do is put it in a 2-ounce bottle that I've got that's empty. And that's pretty good value for money. And then I use it on the airbrush. I will buy rattle cans, but I don't use them that way. I always airbrush them because you just get much better control and you can adjust the thinning ratios if you need to. Then that brings us to this can here. This is Rustoleum Painter's Touch 2X paint and primer. I have used this before. I've used it actually the exact way I'm going to demonstrate. And I see a lot of posts pretty much every single day about people using one of these products, and the caption always reads, "My paint is screwed up." Well, it's not necessarily the paint's fault. It's all down to technique. It's also down to this nozzle. This nozzle is not designed for our hobby. It's designed to spray a really heavy coat on a really big piece of whatever it is you want to paint, whether it be a whole sheet of plywood, a chair, whatever. It is designed for maximum velocity of paint. Because remember, you're priming it and painting it at the same time. So this stuff goes on thick. Now, I bought this can about 5 or 6 years ago. So in my demonstration, a lot of people in their comments on these posts will always say, well, how old is the can? Maybe it's so old that you're not getting the right ratio of paint and thinner because it's old. Well, this is old, 5 or 6 years old, and I haven't even used this in probably maybe 2 or 3 years. But on to the size. So this is 12 ounces, which it roughly is about 350 milliliters. So this can has 3.5 times more paint than this one, and it costs around the same. It's actually cheaper by 50 cents from my quick research I did. So what we're going to do is we're going to paint my uh, black chassis parts of my Renault 5 with this product. It's something I've done before, but the can was a lot fresher back then. I'm going to take the paint out and put it in this little jar, which is Mr. Hobby's Mr. Surfacer 1200 that's been emptied out for decanting purposes because it actually holds quite a bit. Don't remember how big this jar is and everything. Oh, it's 40 milliliters. So this actually will hold 4 times as much as this. So let's change cameras to my paint booth and let's get the paint out. I'll be right back. Okay, we're in my paint booth now. So here's our jar for the paint. I'm going to be using a spendy straw, like so. And here's our paint. So the only prep I'm going to do to this, just because this can's been sitting around for a really long time, is I'm going to clean the nozzle just a little bit, just to be on the safe side. I'm just going to use a little makeup sponge with some hardware store lacquer thinner on it. And I'm just going to kind of try to clean the nozzle a little bit. This may not even work. We're doing this on camera without testing or anything. Can't really tell. It's definitely got the lacquer thinner on it because I can smell it. That may not be aggressive enough. Let's try with the regular old Q-tip. Those makeup sponges are uh, pretty smooth. All right, we're going to say that that's going to be good enough. Of course, I'm sure there's paint inside there that's dried up. It feels like there's still plenty in here. So let's shake it up. Oh, because so we're going to put gloves on because frankly, I do not want to get paint on my hands. Because this is not the cleanest techniques, but it works. I just don't want to get paint on it. So I'm going to shake this up real good. Good enough. Now, I did not, excuse me, I did not warm up this can at all in preparation of this. Let's see what happens. All I'm going to do is hold the nozzle or this up to the nozzle. This may make a lot of mess because it just might. We'll see. And we have paint coming out. You know what? I'm going to do a little different here. This can is taller than I usually use. So we're going to put this on this little skewer holder. Actually, don't want my mark. There we go. Should cut that a little bit. I think I will cut it. Bear with me. Grab scissors. I just happen to have handy. Now my scissors are going to be black. Yep. So those will be clean. There. That's better. Much in this jar as we can. So we might actually be emptying the can. Now we're about halfway full. We're done with this. Like I said, this is messy. I do not recommend doing this in an uncontained environment. And look at that. I don't have any paint on my gloves yet. So I'm going to put the cap. Actually, the first thing I do is wipe this down a little bit. So maybe in another 5 years, I can do this and it won't be so messy. Or I might just go ahead and keep using this stuff just to get rid of it. That's good enough. But I still have clean gloves. All right. Cap back on. And it's still probably more than enough to refill this one more time. So now we have our jar. It is all the way up to the bottom of the neck. Now this will evaporate out a little bit because the propellant is part of the thinning medium, and the propellant will boil out over time. And to make this demonstration even more what you want to call it. Anyway, I'm not going to let this sit for 24 hours like I usually do. I'm going to paint this stuff this evening. So let's see what happens. I'm going to put my jar off camera way over there where you can't see it, and we're just going to let it sit there and bubble for a few hours. So when I come back, we're going to get it ready and paint it. So we'll see in a little bit. Okay, we are back. So kind of lie a little bit. It's been about a week since I decanted this. I got sent away with work and I've been busy. So yeah. Anyway, so here's our decanted paint. Obviously, it just has plenty of time to paint it. First thing we're going to do is stir this up for this. They need to put some more thinner. And to do that, I'm not going to put, this is Rustoleum, so it's basically enamel based, but we're going to put hardware store lacquer thinner. Why not? See what that does to it. Feel that light. Searching. Bubbling going. Apparently, there must have been something in the bottom that wasn't quite done yet. Didn't have had it. I sprayed it. Why not? Well, like that. Wow, he saw that on camera. That was not good. I just lost everything right out of the cup and made a mess. Yeah, go quick. All over my the end of my airbrush. Uh, yeah, that made it back. So this is paint and primer all at the same time. With a little bit of hardware store like this thing. No, let's see how this covers without using any other primer to the base. It's gonna go real easy with it. I only put a quarter. Yeah. Yeah, get some of this stuff out of here. It's kind of like, I forgot to put gloves. Keep this in the camera for you. You heard that squeaking, that was my phone. Apparently my wife's trying to get my attention, but I'm a little busy. So anyway, I think you've seen me anything enough. I'm going to take a break and finish this up, and then we'll come back. All right, so we're done spraying our Rustoleum 2X paint and primer, or primer and paint. And as you can see, I'm handling it. Oh, it's only been about 20 minutes since I got done spraying my parts. And as you can see, I'm handling it with my fingers and touching all over. And it's dry. I mean, it's not completely cured, but it is touch dry, which is pretty good. So I can actually smudge it with my fingers, because if you can look at the bottom in the middle, you can see my smudge marks where I purposely tried to smudge it with my finger. But as you can see, I'm rubbing my finger and nothing's coming off. So I call that a win. It's got a really nice sheen to it. Like, this is a very, very bright uh, semi-gloss black. And then here's one of my seats. As you can see, it looks really nice. So anyway, so that is that. Uh, so let me get the can and I'll remind you what I'm using. If I can find it back here. So once again, to conclude this little experiment, this was about a 6-year-old can of Rustoleum 2X paint and primer, ultra cover, and I decanted it into a jar. Yes, I did let it sit for a week. I didn't really intend on it, but it did sit in the jar for about a week, at which point I added hardware store lacquer thinner to it. I don't know the exact ratio because I really don't measure shit, but I will tell you it was probably about 4 of these little small pipettes, which is 1 millimeter, a milliliter. So let's say I put 4 milliliters into this jar. But if I wasn't counting, to be honest. So who knows? Anyway, just shook it up real good, and I sprayed it. Now, some other points to note is that it is currently 66 degrees in my room where my paint booth is, with a relative humidity of 16%. That's on the very low side. Uh, Outside my window, it's probably minus 15. I do have a humidifier that's running next to the paint booth, but I don't know if it really works that much. So you want to spend money on Rustoleum? That's fine. Maybe you should try this method, because I think that's pretty foolproof for this demonstration. And I did no prep work on this plastic whatsoever, all other than sanding the mold lines off. I did not wash it. I did not clean it with alcohol. I did nothing except put it on a little paint thing and paint it. That's it. So with that, Thank you very much for watching. If you have any comments about this method, or maybe you got a better way than this to do Rust-Oleum without it taking a month or so to dry, let me know. Thank you for watching again.